What is up, you guys? The Fallout What If here, and if you may have saw already on the title, basically this is What If Deku was the Incredible Hulk, Part 5, and this may be the only part to it. Now, I'm going to start relaying a lot of things. Maybe I will do a 6th one if this gets 100 likes, and if it doesn't get 100 likes, then possibly not going to do it. We'll do probably a redo one day. Also, big announcement, I might start redoing a lot of the ones that you guys liked, such as the Zoro one and the other ones. Pretty much it will be different. I can tell you it will be different. Not only that, I hope you guys do like this, and I hope you guys still support me and, watch, the videos. And not only that, shout out to Last of Us 21 and Diomedes Rouge. Lasto and Patrick. Pretty much that's it. Yeah, so. A long time, we will start where it usually began. Whew. So. Now, after the whole thing with Izuku dying, Izuku's body was not completely alive, but the soul inside of it was very much alive. Izuku, after knowing what had happened, people were taken, his father beating him up to a bloody pulp, almost killing him in the process, him actually dying, did not sit well with him. Deep down inside, he did not like it. Knowing the fact that he's now dead. He doesn't know what to do, to be honest. Deep down, he wants to get out. He wants to be alive again. And deep down, this green-filled hatred inside of him does not want to let go of it. Want to let go of life. It's technically dragging it down while it's picking itself up. Trying to climb up to that one part of the mountain where basically life is at again. Because deep down he knew where he was going. And it was hell. Now, how did he go to hell? Well, simple, really. It's not really simple, he just went to hell. By technicality, he is someone now who has died. And not only that, his hatred, it's that pure form of hatred did not sit well, so he couldn't go to heaven. Maybe one day he will, maybe one day he won't. But Izuku, after feeling this way, just says, I'm not going to sit down here while the rest of the people are fighting for me. Not only that, his Hulk state feels this way as well. And it's telling him to go. Telling him to run. Telling him to get to that certain point so they can go back to Earth. And so he did. I'm not going to bore you with the details, but I know there's many demons out there that wanted to take Izuku's soul and his power. That rage-filled, that hatred, that disgusting, greenish, the pinnacle of rage itself was within this child, and Izuku just kept destroying them, using all of the strength that he had. Not only that, he became much more tougher, because over 2 months is 2 hours for him. Over 2 years is barely anything. He's been there for quite a while, and he doesn't look different. He looks normal. He looks the same, but he can't remember who he is. Now remember this. The fact being that Izuku may have been alive, and he does remember himself, a consequence, a toll must be paid. Something must be given in order for something to be received, and what that receiving is, Izuku's life is no longer going to be the life he once knew. Izuku's not even going to remember his life. He's going to remember that there's just people that he needs to save, but it's tormenting him. because he's been in hell for so long. And when someone is if someone is in hell for so long, fighting their way, sometimes they will forget. And Izuku has forgotten that much. Not only that, the fact being that a lot of demons are still coming after him. But over the years, Izuku doesn't have to deal with these demons anymore. Not only that, Izuku just doesn't... How would I say this? Izuku does not feel like he cares. He doesn't care if he dies. He just, for some reason, wants to live again. But every year, and it has been over 300 years, he looks exactly the same. He's gotten much more stronger, much more durable, much more meaner, much more colder. Izuku does not even remember the people that he loved. He doesn't even remember his own mother, but he does remember a face oh so well. He remembers that demon that killed him. That's the one thing that's fueling him right now. That is the one that is having the Hulk be given life. That is what's giving life right now. The hatred for another human being that is now a monster. Izuku now finding his way up to the top of a mountain, basically getting ready to get out of there. But Izuku does not feel it. And what does he not feel? He does not feel that place. It's not even there. And that is because it's in another mountain. Basically, Izuku has been climbing the wrong mountain, but he can get there very quickly, because now he does not care at all for what is happening. And then 2 seconds later, he feels this weird rage inside of him that's growing and growing and just saying, Hulk smash! And Izuku just gets up, ready to jump as high as he can go, as high and as far away from that place, grabbing onto something. And it's something that he doesn't know. He does not know what it is. All he just knows, it's basically some kind of weird tree branch, and he's climbing it. And in his mind, there's a big tree that he's climbing, and we're just going to call this a tree of life. But Izuku right there is not giving up, climbing every second. He knows that if he lets go right now, there might not be another chance. So he's doing everything that he can. The branches are so strong that not even the Hulk can possibly break them. Possibly a different Hulk, but we will get that to another day, point, and time. Now Izuku is getting ready to roar out in frustration, because he knows that sooner or later Izuku is going to be very, very mad at what's happened. And what has happened? Well, days later, in the place that we call Japan, there's basically nothing else but basically sad people. Not sad people, sad students. Frappi, Mineta, Kaminari, Kirishima. Basically, all the students of Class 1A are so sad because not only did somebody that they view as a classmate had died, but somebody else who they cared about died. And they are truly horrified of the fact that he looked like that. Now, we cut to the point where Momo and basically Intelli are talking with Melissa, telling them that basically everything will be alright. Izuku is in a better place now. He's in heaven. But little do they know, he's in hell. Climbing up. Going to live again. And Izuku is doing that. But after all that stuff happens, basically, there's been riots happening, which not even All Might could handle. He has actually lost to, basically, Muscular. Muscular does not even look that way anymore. He looks like the actual Doomsday. His muscles have become so hardened that they look like spikes. Not only that, he lost his hair. He lost a lot of things. But he doesn't care. As long as he gets his next victim, that is the only thing he cares about. And the one thing Izuku knows is that that man, it might kill somebody else that somebody else loves, and he is not giving up. He in his Hulk form are just basically climbing even faster, jumping, climbing from branch to branch until he gets a hold of something. He's getting a hold of something, and that thing is basically the Earth. Izuku, not even in the Hulk form, but is an original form. He gets back up, sees the world around him, feeling this ominous presence around him, knowing that this man has just got out of hell, but he does not know why or who he is. That is the toll that has to be paid. That is the toll that everything in hell must give him. If you guys don't know what I'm trying to say right now, basically, Izuku is now back on Earth. But because he got out of hell, he could have lost a lot more things. He could have probably lost the energy within him to even fight. He could have lost his will. But the one thing that he was lucky enough to lose, which will possibly be his downfall, was his memory. And now, Izuku is just looking around, watching everything, getting out of the dirt, and seeing his name. And he's thinking to himself, is that me? Who am I? And Izuku is just trying to remember who he is, but he cannot. So he's just looking and finding a way to get out of here. Basically running out of the cemetery. Running as fast as he can. Full speed. And he just leaves the cemetery. Now, basically all that happens is Doomsday, or Muscular, as we should call him still, he's not in Tokyo right now. He's somewhere just sleeping, resting. Because he knows that he could do anything that he wants. But that would be too boring. Tearing it down one by one when they don't expect it the most. Basically waiting. So what happens is basically Izuku is just looking around. And he comes across a couple of people. First of all, there's a man in his eyes that has yellow hair with a little lightning bolt on it. Not only that, Izuku just sees another person with red hair. And basically they both look at Izuku with horrifying looks. Shock, happiness, but scared of what just happened. Why is this man alive? That's what they're wondering right now. And Izuku's just saying, who are you two? Why are you guys looking at me like that? Because here's the thing. They couldn't even change this guy's clothing. Izuku is basically has just like a weird t-shirt. Not only that, ripped up pants. And they're just looking at him barefooted. Now, Izuku is just wondering, where else is he at? And basically, all Kirishima says is, whoa, hold on here. Is that Izuku? It can't be, he's dead. And Kaminari is so freaking out. He's freaking out right now. And he says, hey, is that Izuku? No, that can't be. Hold on, let's just take a look. And the moment they touch Izuku just pushes them as hard as he could. Kaminari is basically pushed back a lot. And Izuku says, do not touch me. And this is when Kirishima says, whoa, hold on. Izuku, come on now, you know who we are. And Izuku is just looking back. And just taking his, how would I say this? He's moving back a bit. This is when Kirishima says, hey, Izuku, is that you? Are you a... That can't be you, but... Look at you. Your face. Your hair. Your pupils. Your freckles. That has to be you. And basically, Kirishima just gets pushed back. And Izuku just says, please, do not touch me. And Kirishima just says, wait, look at hold on, Izuku, just calm down. And Izuku just sees that he's coming towards him again. And he says, if you come any closer, I'll make you regret it. And this is when Kirishima says, I'm sorry, Izuku, but you can't just leave. We have to call somebody. We have to call All Might. Not only that, we have to call Melissa. And Melissa is one of the things that he remembers. Well, not remembers, but that name rings a bell just a little bit. And this is when Izuku just walks away and just says, I gotta get going. You guys get out of here. And basically Kirishima just grabs him. And Izuku grabs him by his neck. And picks him up. And is about to choke slam him down. But Kirishima just hardens his body. And Izuku is just being grabbed by his arm. And he tells Kaminari to just shock him right now. Because this guy is going to leave again. And they do not want him to go. Because if they let go now, they may just lose him forever. And that is what Kirishima is thinking right now. Be it that Kirishima does not, always seen him, like they haven't been so buddy-buddy, but Kirishima does know that this man has sacrificed his life to save somebody else. And that is something that is manly in his eyes. And he's not going to do it on principle. Not only that, Izuku just grabbing him and says, let go now before I make you suffer. And Kirishima says, I'm sorry, but we can't do that. And Izuku is getting shocked by a heck of a lot of people. He's getting very shocked. But Sarah was there because he was just grabbing a piece. Well, technically, he was just grabbing something to eat, and he told those two to get out. He just said that he'll wait for them outside. So while Sarah was outside, he just sees Izuku right there, and he's just shocked. And he just almost drops his food, but opens his mouth and just says, hold on here, is this Deku? And this is when he hears that weird name again. But he doesn't hear, hold on here. He does not hear Deku. He hears Deku. And that rings a bell as well. And Izuku is just thinking to himself, why are they calling me Deku? My name is Izuku. And this is when Kirishima says, you have to grab him now. He might run away. He doesn't know who he is. And this is when basically Sarah says, Alright. I'm sorry, Deku, but you have to come with us. And basically he just wraps him around with multiple sheets, or multiple layers of tape. And Izuku is just getting a little mad. And he says, I warned you. And then he transforms into the Hulk. And he says, leave now. And this is when Kirishima just says, we can't do that. You can't leave. We won't let you. We don't want to lose you again. And this is when Sero and Kaminari get scared, but they know they have to do something. And as heroes in training, or as people who want to be heroes, this is their one chance to show at least that they got what it takes. And basically, Kirishima and Sero are charging in, and Izuku just grabs these two. But Kaminari just tells the both of them to get cover, or to hide. And Kaminari just uses all the electricity that he can muster and shocks Izuku. And Izuku felt that, and is a little dazed. And Kirishima just punches him in the head and kicks him in the stomach, causing a little bit of pain. And even Sero throws tape on him. And this is when he gets mad. And he says, Gamma, wave! And just slams his hands together which causes an immediate, how would I say this? An air, basically causing vibrations in the air to push all three of them back, causing a lot of windows to crack and break. And Izuku is just looking at them, and he says, "Leave me alone." And he just starts running away. Transforming back into his human state, is just running as fast as he can, knowing where to go for some reason. And he goes into Dagobah Beach. Now, Kaminari, Sero, and the others call different people, calling the heroes, calling the police, and calling anybody else that could be saved, that could help out. Not only that, Izuku is just hiding, or is just in the beach right now, sitting down with his knees touching his chest and holding back, saying, "Where is he? Who is he? Why can't he remember anything? Why is this one place the spot that reminds him so much of his past? Why is this the one thing he could remember?" And that's when little cracks, when I mean cracks, little cracks of his memory just start trickling down a bit. And that's when basically all he sees is All Might and the rest of the heroes. Because they know that Izuku was going somewhere. And how would they find him? Simple. There's one thing that the Hulk can do, and is leave footprints. No matter where he's at, he's bound to leave at least one footprint. But as well, Izuku was running at top speed, and there is eyewitnesses as well, so he knows at least a little bit to where he was going to. Until they also saw someone who technically saw the or saw someone that matched the description of Izuku. So basically, All Might and the rest of the heroes are there. All the ones that at least are strong enough to handle this. Even Ochako is there, so that way they can use what basically what she has. And Izuku just basically just says, "Who are all you people?" And basically, all they see is All Might with only 10 to 2 minutes. He has up to 2 minutes, or basically, let's say this: he has 10 minutes of actual power surging through him. So this is when Izuku just says, Alright, I'm warning you all right now. Leave me alone." And this is when All Might says, "Ha ha ha. It was very impossible to see that day happened, Izuku. But young Midoriya, you should know we will never let you leave. You are someone we care about very much. You probably do not know who you are, but you are a hero who saved the life of another child. Not only that, you risked your own life, and you gave it to save someone. You told me once that you wanted to be a hero. Even if we never had all the best discussions in the past. You were someone who I respect. And I will not let you go again." Not only that, other people start to talk to him. And Izuku just sees what's happening. Because basically, they need to find freaking One For All. They know where he's at right now, but they're waiting because this is the other obstacle they need to discuss. And Izuku just gets fed up and just says, "I don't know who you are." And basically All Might says, "We know you, we know that you do not understand anything right now, Izuku. But we do know that we can try to help you out. Now, please, let us help you." And this is when Izuku says, I'm warning you right now. Please just leave. And this is when Melissa, Momo, and Intelli talk to Izuku, with tears filling their eyes. Not only that, another person is there too. And it's Midnight. And basically, yeah, she kind of confessed in a way, but right now they're just keeping on the down low. Just be like, we can't have that for UA. Come on now. We can't just tell everybody that, you know, Midnight's, baby is actually an underage student. Come on now, people. Let's be a little serious. But yeah, pretty much, Midnight's there and all that stuff. And he remembers Midnight. But then also he remembers Melissa. Then after that, Intelli. And then Momo. And little pieces start to crack. And little glass of memories start to just fall down little by little again. And this is when basically they start talking to him, saying that he is alright. They will take care of him. They will help him out. They will not abandon him. And Izuku just says, I do not know who you all are. Why are you guys trying to talk to me? And this is when Izuku just starts to feel a little trickle of pain on his head. And he starts to feel and understand what was happening. For all these years, technically for all these years in his head, he thought he was missing something. And all he now knows is that Momo, Melissa, and Intelli are the people that he cared about. They were nice to him. They treated him fairly. He does not want to forget all this. So, this is when Izuku just starts to walk towards them. And all you hear is, this is so freaking boring! Get to the freaking place! And basically, well, technically Muscular just comes out. And Izuku just looks at him and just says, it's you. I don't know who you are. And do you not understand who your father is? You're my... Of course. You are my father. You are the bastard that gave me so much hell. You killed your own son. Well, I did kill my son. But for some reason, you have that weird ability just to come back to life now, huh? I do not know how you did that. People saw you died. I saw you died. I made sure to almost decapitate you, but they thought it was not worth it. And now I see that you're alive again. Isn't that swell? Come on, think about it. We can rule the world together. We can have anything we want. We cannot have anything superior come in our way. We could do whatever we want. We can make the whole world bow to us. Do anything for us on a whim. It does not matter who we are in their eyes, as long as they know that we are gods. We shall be respected as gods, son. Think about it. Isn't that something that you want? I even got this. And it's basically a little pocket watch that Izuku had when he was a child. Now, I do not remember if I said this or not, but Izuku had a pocket watch that was given to his dad just so that way he could say, take this. I don't give a crap about this. Take it. And this is when Izuku says, my pocket watch. My pocket watch. Now, do you understand who you are? Come on. What do you say? Take the muscular name. Ha! I have a new name. My name is Doomsday. Now, I know this is a Marvel and DC character weirdness right here, but I did not know who could look much more better. I saw the Abomination, but I thought, we had to do something that's a little more grotesque, something a little more sinister. And then I thought Doomsday. So yeah, pretty much it. Now, this is what Izuku just says. Join you. And this is when he says, why not? Come on now, don't be a fool. And this is when he says, huh. And this is when basically Melissa says, you can't do this. You're a hero. You wanted to be a hero, and you can't do this because I'm not going to let you. And this is when he says, quiet, girlie. If you want, you can even have her to do anything you want. She's just a piece of meat. In your eyes, you could have any woman you want. And this is when Izuku says, you're right. I could have any woman I want. Grabbing his hands as Izuku, in a human form, looks at Muscular, or Doomsday, as his form. And he says, there's one thing I forgot to mention. And he says, what is that, son? And he punches him straight into the gut, and then uppercuts him straight into his face. And he says, I'm a warrior. And basically has armor on him magically. Now, I should have specified this, but 300 years in hell could do a lot of work. And Izuku looks like this. Basically has been in war, fighting demons, having to grab armor and weapons. And he says, I am Hulk! And basically, Muscular says, or Doomsday, whatever you want to say, he says, well, isn't that a kick in the balls? Come on, son. Why do you have to always do this to me? Now I'm going to have to kill you again. And basically, it is now a clash of the titans. These two start running towards each other. And Izuku just punches him straight in the face. And Muscular punches him straight into the gut. After that, both people are now fighting like they once did. And Izuku is not giving up. He has remembered 300 years in hell. Now he remembers that he has to fight. Those years, he has remembered that there was times that he could have fought harder. He could have used different techniques. He was not trained in a way that every fighter was. He was basically the Hulk. And he knew that he was no match for somebody who could kill him again. Unless he did something for himself in hell. And that was train every day, learning a way to get out of situations and into situations that could benefit him and make the disadvantage for another person. And guess what he did? Grabbing Muscular's hand and flipping him over. After that, grabbing the hammer on his freaking the hilt, or not the hilt, basically the holster of his weapon, and basically smashing him, or Doomsday, across the jaw. And Doomsday just says, so I see you like using weapons. Ha! You are my son. I used my favorite knife back then, but I don't even need a crummy weapon like that. All I just need is my fist. And basically, Spike starts to come out of his fist and punches Izuku in the face and said, let's get rockin', baby. And basically, these two start punching each other and slamming one another to the ground. All Might and the others cannot do anything. But this is when All Might starts to turn back into his regular form. Because everybody has seen All Might in his regular form lost already. And Izuku knows that All Might cannot finish him off. But this is when Melissa tries to get in, and this is when she says, "We can't just let you fight by yourself." And this is when Izuku says, "You are not strong enough to fight him. Please, let me do this." And this is when, basically, Izuku knows that he has to turn or do something. And this is when Muscular just grabs him by his throat. Is about to chokeslam him. But this is when he reverts back, and Muscular loses his grip. And then, Izuku just kicks him straight into the face, turning back into his human form. Getting strong. Not only that, by learning how to control the strength within, he's learned how to somewhat control his body to its maximum. All the way, perfect harmony with Hulk. He could never attain the part of him that could be smart and strong, but he could combine both parts of him that is strong and combat-wise and hellish. And that is what he's going to do. Running towards him, just smashing him, and Izuku just punches him straight into his freaking chest. And after that, knees him on the side of his head. And this is when Doomsday says, as much as I would say that hurts, that can't hurt me all the time, Izuku. As you could see. But, knowing that there's so many there's so many people right here, including you, I could see that I'm at a little bit of a disadvantage. You know what? Screw it. Grabbing vials and vials of drugs out of a bag that he has had, and then just swallowing them whole like pills, and then he starts to just spike up a bit more, and after that become much more toner, much more darker, and he just says, this is so much better. And he says, this drug allows me to become much more stronger, amplifying me to my absolute limit. And this is when Izuku just runs at him and says, I won't let you. And just punches him straight into the face. But Muscular just doesn't flinch. And Izuku just gets punched all the way back with the strength. And then after that, Doomsday says this, I thought you were going to win. What happened to that bravado, that machismo, the strength of actually winning? Ha! That's nothing. And Izuku just turns back into his human form. And then he's mad because he can't actually get up. This is when Melissa tries to help him. And he says, Melissa, I need your help. And she says, finally, please, Izuku, just tell me anything. Just anything, please. And this is when Izuku just says, I need you to give me all for one. I mean, one for all. And this is when she says, wait a minute, how did you... I know. I know what was going to happen. I knew this day will come. If I needed the power. I didn't want it because I thought that it would overtake me. Because having the strongest power and the will to not give up, not only that, the power of amplifying that strength tenfold. I need the power, please. You said you would do anything. I need you to trust me. And she says, okay, I trust you. But you don't need my hair. You just need a part of my DNA. Jeez, I could have just given you some blood or something. And Izuku says, alright. I forgot that. This is when Doomsday is about to run to walking slowly towards them. The people, the students of UA, well, the Class 1A students, except for Bakugo. Not only that, different people around there. And this is when Izuku, just all they see is Izuku kissing Melissa, and All Might says, young Midoriya, I know as much as a lovey-dovey time is a thing, please understand that we do need your help. And this is when Izuku says, Alright. And this is when he starts kissing her a little bit more. And this is when she smacks him on his head. Or just bops him a little bit and says, just please go save them. And this is when Izuku just gets back up 100%. And this is when basically... And if I did say that he have all for one, he had to, what's called, all for one Izuku charging up with basically a lot of energy. And then he just feels his strength come in. And Izuku just runs, just kicking him straight into the face. Not even in his Hulk form. Getting ready to, though. And then he says, Father, this is time for us to settle the score. I know that you may have given life. You may have been my father. But even my father back then cared just a tiny bit. You are a monster. You are someone who is no longer human. And I will kill you myself. This is when basically Muscular says, ha 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 ha. Do you really think that'll actually affect me? Oh well, whatever you say. And Izuku just charges up. For some reason, instinctively knowing that how it works. Just running. Feeling like he already used with the Hulk one. But he's got 20%, kicking him straight into the guts. And after that, turning back to his Hulk form and saying, Hulk smash! And just smashing him, crushing him in the head. And after that, pushing him backwards. And after that, just charging to him, punching him in the gut. After that, punching him into the side, breaking his bones inside. But this is when Doomsday starts to regenerate them and just punches him. And he says, that hurts, brat. And this is when Izuku says, come here, you coward. And this is when Muscular says, oh, at least you have my guts, kid. And basically both are charging, punching, kicking each other. And this is when All Might sees that he has all for one. Melissa tells him right now, Uncle, I gave him all for one. Or one for all. I know that I shouldn't have done that. But this is when All Might says, young Melissa, I understand that you needed to do this. And I'm glad you did. Otherwise, we probably would have lost. And knowing that you had that power, having to defend us, possibly, you would have died. But now this is time for a hero who needs guts and gusto. And this is when Izuku just punches him, and punches him, and punches him, using much more power of all for one, or all one for all. And Muscular is saying, what the hell? How is this kid so strong? And this is when he just charges in with spikes and stabs freaking Izuku multiple times. And this is when Izuku just grabs it and just grips it, breaking free of that lock that could have killed him. And then this is when he punches him straight into the face, then to the gut, then a 1-2 combo, and after that kicking him in the shin, and after that punching him in the lips, after that grabbing him and slamming him straight into the freaking head. After that, grabbing his palms, slamming them together, but with Muscular's head in the middle, causing brain damage to freaking Muscular, not even able to see. Izuku just punching him down, and both being up in the air. After that, Izuku just slams him down, and then he tells him, while on the ground, there's one thing I've heard, but that is, you must go plus ultra. But that's not my motto right now. my motto is, go to hell! And he punches him so hard into the stomach, using 1,000,000% of all for one, or one for all, and basically punching him so hard that he's actually flying all the way towards the sun. And Izuku punched him so hard with 1,000,000%, using the Hulk strength. And the Hulk is no slouch. This man can technically could carry a skyscraper. And even though he's a teen, Izuku using 1,000,000%, he could do that 10 times over. And Izuku did. But his whole body just started to be down. Basically, he just got out of his Hulk state and is on his knees right now, breathing hard. And this is when he says, okay, I did it. So am I dying now? And this is when basically they all know that he's not going to die. They won't let him. She cares about them too much. Or Melissa and Telly and Bubble care about Izuku too much to let him die. And they're basically all hugging him again. And they're both saying, all three of them are just calling him an idiot. Reckless, stupid. Oh boy. They truly thought that they were about to lose Izuku for the second time. And then he's just up. The power within him was used to 1,000,000%, which also would instate mean that Izuku just used so much power that now it's ingrained into his body. Him feeling this sort of powerful way. They're just saying, Alright, I won. I won. It digested fully, and now Izuku is technically above God mode. Technically, in his eyes, he's not God mode. But the power that he has truly shown gave him a lot of people enough reason to not a lot of them can actually take him down. In truth, they're basically going to grab Izuku's leg, have Ochako pull him up, have Sero technically have Sero tie him up and just basically float them all the way to a place where they wouldn't have to have a lot of property damage destroyed. But not only that, Dagobah Beach is actually pretty much a wreck. They need to put more sand in. Not only that, put a little bit they have to put a lot of things there. But in the end, Izuku survived. Izuku survived. Muscular is in space, and he was about to actually just find a rock and just push himself back. But this is when technically he just missed his chance. He was so mad that he crushed the rock with his powerful strength that if he could touch something, it would technically be either broken or just technically dead. So in fact, he himself used his strength to the point where basically he lost his chance to actually go back to Earth. And then, this is when he floats near the sun. And then tried to get out of the way, but couldn't. Because gravity does not work in his favor. Touching the sun and trying to get out of there, but engulfing himself in the flames. Not only that, he would have tried to get out of there, but there's one thing that he's also forgotten. the sun's gravity was so powerful that the moment it pulled him, it was too late for him. And all that happened was basically him burning up, trying to get out of there, but his strength was no match for the sun. And he dies. Izuku's now up. They go rescue they go rescue Bakugo. Basically, if you want to know the full story, get 100 likes, and then I can talk about All for One. And not only that, Overhaul. Not only that, Koda's going to see his big brother again, which is not technically his big brother, but you know what I mean. Iko gets to see his son again, and everything is perfectly working out again. So, I'm going to leave it off here. Like, comment, do subscribe to the channel here, people. This has been the Fallout Whatever here. Bye.